Well, welcome back. Let's go back to the breaking news we've been following. A building collapse site in Ormonde. MMC for Public Safety in the city of Johannesburg, Mgcini Tshwaku, briefing the media there. Let's take a listen in.
We used to consult with a company called Foster Wheeler and was deployed most of the time at site with Sasol, work with Group 5, work with companies like this was Group 5 and Marion Robertson and all of that. So look here, what we're going to investigate. First, we need to check at the building plans. Number one, the building plans, if they are approved properly by the city, and then also if they are approved by an engineer. And it must be a chartered engineer, it must be a professional engineer. Because in structures like this, warning to the public is that when you start to do a double story, you need to get those drawings to be approved by an engineer, because they will tell you what is the strength of material, the strength of your concrete. That's number one. Number two, they will tell you the size of a rebar. A rebar is that wire which is inside that this concrete. So normally those structural engineers, they use a software called Caesar. So when I was deployed in Sasol, we used to use a Caesar, where Caesar will tell you before it can collapse that if you put loads in terms of the concrete, if it's going to collapse or not, and then it tells you what concrete must you use, what size of rebar must you use. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to look at those drawings, check who are the people who signed those drawings. Number two, we need to check the inspector. Who was the inspector? Because at a certain stage of construction, an inspector must go out with a drawing from an engineer approved. Remember, that drawing will tell you what strength of material, 20, 30, 40 MPa that you're going to use. They're going to tell you the size of your rebar, which is your iron mesh that you put into your concrete. You must take that drawing and come on site at frequent times during the stage of the construction and sign off. Stage number one, when you have to shutter, you have to put the wires in, you have to shutter it off. Then then an inspector must come in and check if those wires have been tied in properly before you pour concrete. Then when you're done with that, you must sign it off. Then the second one is when you pour concrete, we want to look at the strength of the concrete. Someone on site must have signed it off from wherever they're getting the cement, right strength and all of that. And then they're allowed to really pour. So we're going to look into that. And an individual that we hand accountable, we were going to investigate. But this is a criminal case. A person can be sent to jail because there are some fatalities. So we need to check it. But the way I see qualitatively, the way I'm looking at it, I mean, like I said, I'm not really an engineer right now, is that I can see some poor workmanship. That we actually, when I was speaking to my guys from the EMS as well, we just say, look, we don't think that there was a proper workmanship in terms of the construction there, because you must have a concrete, you must put the pillars, put concrete in and show that no, it's proper. You see, even the walls, the walls, so there's a poor workmanship that is there as well. So that's why I'm saying that let's get the investigation going. The key thing is to get all those things, the drawings and all of that. And it's easy to really spot who is at fault. So we have to start with the drawings, who approved it, who done the inspection, who's been signing off at different stages of the project. It's as easy as that.
Sir, we can see there's some stretchers that are going inside. Tell us, has there been somebody located?
Yes. Remember those 3 people that were trapped?
Yes.
Yes, so one of them now is actually being removed. And then there's one that's been taken away. Now the one now that is going to take is the one that was trapped, that the leg was trapped, and then now they are trying now to rescue the third person, which is there as well. So yeah. Sorry, no, it's not.
Okay, now let me bring in the witness, Mr. Ngulube, who's going to tell us about what happened. Baba, as an eyewitness.
Into eyenzakale lana ukuthi sifikile ekseni uma sifika ucontractor wasibonisa ukuthi uyifuna phi concrete, so la beyifuna khona bekuyislab uyifuna phezulu, sajoyina amapipe wethu ayakhona sayithela lena yaphezulu yaphela, sithela lena ephansi ebengicabanga mina ukuthi i-surface bed ngenxa yala ebengime ngakhona ibingabonakala ukuthi iyislab ngoba ibiyi-level ne-ground. So sayithela nayo sithe sesizoqeda hayi i-structure sawa nje yikho nje engakusho lokho.
Just to translate what the gentleman has been saying is that he's one of the people that survived the horror. He was on the ground floor, which it was a 2-story building, and they were pouring a slab. And then before they could even know it, a loud bang took place. He managed to run away quickly, and he says around about the 9 people that have been affected are people he has known for years now. And it is very difficult for him. He's very stressed, and he does say that there's a certain precautions that have may been missed, but he is truly distraught as the survivor of this incident. We understand that the people that were inside deep on the ground and at the top are the ones that got mostly affected. And as you've heard, the MMC of Public Safety, Dr. Mgcini Tshwaku, saying that the third person whom they're trying to locate, they are communicating with the person, and the person might be loaded on a stretcher any minute from now on.
All right, Tato, thank you. Of course, still an active scene, and we're still trying to really make sense of what's transpiring as that rescue operation continues, where we do know now that 6 have been killed in that building in Ormonde, that building that collapsed. There was just a briefing by Dr. Mgcini Tshwaku there, MMC for Public Works or Public Safety in the city of Johannesburg, highlighting what has been happening, keeping the communication lines open. And that's a developing story. Reporter Tato Litsaba is on the scene, bringing us that latest coverage as it continues. So we'll continue to monitor it as the day progresses there.